All right. All right, all right, all right. We are here. Let me go ahead and make sure YouTube is going to be live. And then we can go ahead and start talking about this race. And yeah, all right, cool. We are all good to go, all live. How you guys doing this morning? So, quickly, I want to talk about one thing that I've been doing this year, and maybe it's been more aggressive than usual, whatever the case may be. These past weeks, specifically in like the Xfinity Series, I'll talk about Custer real fast because it's important, at least in my opinion, to explain where I come from and why I do certain things. So, outside of mental like struggles or like Custer right into like not like being demoted back to the Xfinity Series, whatever the case is, I don't know what data point I'm missing on Cole Custer. I truly, honestly don't. Checking practice data, checking long run data, checking team data, checking track data, track history data. I don't understand what's going on with Cole Custer. Like, he'll be outran by Riley Herbst. I don't understand it at all. I don't know how you can lead the field on the start by nearly 3 seconds, get past on a restart, and never make it past 10th place again in the rest of the race. I completely lost. I have no idea other than, like, Cole Custer doesn't have it mentally right now. He doesn't have the drive mentally, whatever the case may be, because that's been 2 weeks in a row that I've been absolutely destroyed by being overweight on Custer when everything I'm seeing is pointing me to him. Now, on the opposite side of that, on the Cup Series, everybody I've felt that way towards, I haven't been on nearly as much as I should. Auto Club was super high, confident in Kyle Busch, just didn't. I think I had him in like 60% of the lines. Should have been higher. Last week at Las Vegas, William Byron, Kyle Larson, I like those guys a lot more than Logano. Ended up with 60% Logano, and I mean, nearly had Larson every single line as well with Byron. But still, I've just been the guys that I've wanted to focus on the most. I just haven't been 100% on in Cup for whatever reason that is. So today, let me go ahead and make sure that this is all good to go, and then I got this on the Twitter sphere. So for me today, everything I'm seeing, every data point I would ever use, look at, whatever the case may be, we're talking me where I was entering the week, me where I was looking back at previous races, all the way back in 2016, 17, and 18, okay, looking back at recent races on top of that, looking back at practice data, looking back at long run data, looking back in qualifying, looking back at data. You got to remember that, look, I love the Phoenix area. I want to one day move to Goodyear. That's my ultimate plan. I love that area. I have been to probably 25 or 26 races at Phoenix at this point. I have never seen cloud cover in that area like there was on Friday. That was a crazy amount of overcast. The track temperature was extremely cool. A lot of grip in the track on the hour-long practice that we had on Friday. I just want to add that in there. So despite that, in 2 different track conditions, Kyle Larson is looking like the best play statistically. The math points to it. Everything points to Larson, okay? So if I whiff again, if I miss again, so be it. I have every data point that I would ever consider that I look at each and every week saying to play Larson. So, due to that, not on a whim, not on, other things. And looking back on, I understand I've made mistakes with Custer these last 2 weeks. At the same point, the same things that I've looked at have pointed me towards Kyle Busch at Auto Club, Kyle Larson and Byron at Las Vegas. And I treat those races as independents. Just because it was Larson and Byron last week does not mean I'm going back to Larson due to that. But my process is telling me to play Larson this weekend. So I'm 100% Larson. I'm 100% Larson on FanDuel. I'm 100% Larson on DraftKings. That's where I'm at. I don't really have any other way of looking at it. I don't really have any other reason to get off of him. Everything I would ever look at tells me to play Larson. That's my stance. I understand he'll probably be the highest owned driver. So be it. That's fine. I don't really care past that. I'm just playing him based off of what I'm seeing. Let me go ahead and move this over. If you look At this stuff here, this is every practice lap outside of I remove slower laps. Like when Byron goes in the pit lane, I just remove that. And this is he comes across the line and pit lane like 8 miles per hour. I just remove that. The averages is calculated with every lap over 110 miles an hour. This is every single lap that they run. Sorry, I'm probably going fast. I'll at least go a bit slow in case you guys want to pause or whatever. But this is every single lap that people run. I'll show you the bottom. It's just BJ McLeod. BJ is the last one. Not important, so I would not worry about focusing on where he is in those laps. But this is where everybody is. Looking here, brother, it's Larson. And clearly there's other guys, and we'll talk about them as I get through the race here. But this is what I'm looking at. When we have a long practice session like this, specifically with teams on 2 tires or 2 sets of tires, it's fantastic stuff to look at. And I was laughing about it yesterday. It was so funny. When you look back several years back, there were very few people offering this stuff in terms of their DFS stuff and things like that. That's also why, if your provider, and sure, I don't know if Osmo does this. I don't know if DFS Army does this. I don't know if Run Pure does this, but this data is so wildly available. If you're not using this data, I don't know what they're doing, because they are obviously dragging ass. It is very easy at this point because, that whole Chad thing that went on in the DFS drama Twitter sphere or whatever. I guess that happened. A lot of people use the 5-lap runs. I haven't put the 5-lap runs in. Let me go ahead and do that because this is my own thing. Here, I'll put them in right now. Because I already have. So I have another. So for example, I have another sheet that I've always just kept. I just keep a running tally on all the data and stuff. And so I have averages right here. So let me just go ahead and copy that over. You're like, oh, dude, that looks like Pierce's stuff. Well, yeah. Amazing what happens when I'm the one getting that stuff for 2 years and I still have all the sheets that, God damn it, I still have all the things that pull it. So, and I'm not recategorizing the way that this looks because I enjoy these colors here. That is Xfinity. I'm an idiot. Let me go to the other sheet that I have. Sorry, I'm run all over the damn place. Over here, I get this again. This is also, man, there's just a ton of stuff. Anyway, let me get this on the screen, and then we can continue, and you guys can feel free to drop in whatever stuff you want to talk about. Let's see. I need to add this to this sheet. And I can now add this to this sheet. Okay, here we are. All right, so here's the long run stuff for the Cup Series. So yeah, when I can't find any other data. I can't think. This is what I assume is in a lot of sheets and stuff. They just where they are in 3-lap run. Larson. Everything's pointing towards Larson. I don't see a reason to not play Larson. Very long-winded stuff, but I just wanted to show you guys that. Let me go ahead and take that back off. We can just talk racing. So past Larson, where am I going? Who are the people that I like? And I mentioned this in the Discord. It's not really, I don't feel like it's giving stuff away because the pool is so fucking gigantic in this category. It's not like clearly my projections would point you to more of these people than not. But I had let me see who asked. I think it was Ryan who asked on the live show, can you go over your likeliest hogs for the race? I'm guessing I'll see Larson, then Byron, then Hamlin, and Trix in there, but love to see your hog pool. And so for me, this is how I always look at every single line. And you can do this specifically by playing, which is why I'm leaning towards doing this more and more this year. Is yet again, I've landed on, even though I keep on getting fucked by Custer, I don't think I think Stenhouse with the 500 and Austin Hill, because I didn't play Austin Hill, but I very much believe he'd win that race. Outside of that, I think I've played every winner this year in some form or fashion. So yet again, I played Sammy Smith yesterday. Just ended up on him because, he's 8 to 9K that I just want to get to. But in my opinion, you should play 3 to 4 guys that can get fast laps and that you could realistically see getting the lead in some fashion, which most likely means pit lane or on the long run. It is very unlikely that Larson leads the entire race, so who is in position to take that lead at some point? Who puts themselves in position to get that lead? Who will be up front to take advantage of a situation like that if it's handed to them? Blaney, Hamlin, Byron, Bell would be the first contenders. Who do I think will be a top 8 car at some point in this race? Truex, Harvick, Bowman. Who can I see as somebody who could scrape off fast laps, who could also be there in a situation like a late race restart, a late race pit lane, whatever the case may be? Wallace and Reddick. And so once I have my 100% Larson, those are the drivers that I'm mixing in with the Larson plays. So now with that said, with that brought up, I like Harvick. I love his price. I like his upside. I like where he's at. I will probably have it's tough between Harvick and Truex for me in terms of who I'm going to have more ownership to. Okay, it's been established playing 100% Larson. So past this, I'm not taking any more Larson question. You know where I'm at. So my highest owned driver, I'm debating between Truex and Harvick. I like where these guys are at. I expect them both to run top 10 lap times at some point and be up there contending for, as I said, top 8s. It just leads the pit lane, what happens there, what happens on these late race restarts. But I like Truex. I like Harvick. I also really like Bowman. And I'm not really going out on a limb. Like, I assume everybody else is kind of on these guys as well. I can't really decide where I want to go between these 3 guys. Even Wallace to an extent as well. You got Bubba Wallace starting 19th. If I think Reddick is going to be there to scrape laps off, if I think truly Wallace can be there to scrape laps off, we're seeing that they're getting in those situations. Like, these guys are both getting laps or fast laps in these races. So those are mainly where I'm taking or leaning towards in, like, I guess the 9-8K ranges there. I like Bell a lot. I will probably end up being over the field on Christopher Bell. Same thing with William Byron, but I think it's just because I'm so condensed. With Larson, I'm just playing. I have every line with just 5 people. On FanDuel, I'm playing lineups with basically 4 drivers, and so I think that'll traditionally lend me to being overweight on people just because I'm only building with 5 positions there. I'm not playing Keselowski. I'm not playing Chastain. I'm not playing McDowell. At the moment, I'm not playing Kyle Busch, Eric Jones. I might get to Suarez, but right now he is a no as well. I don't have any Ty Gibbs right now. Logano is an interesting fellow. So I don't have any Logano at the moment. Now, granted, I haven't made all my lines yet. I'm like 13, 14 lines in on my 20. I probably feel like I need to get to Logano, but if I'm getting to Logano, it means that I'm most likely not having a lineup with Byron, Bell, Blaney. If you're playing Logano, you are very much leaning to a build that Larson really does run away with stuff, and then place differential plays become far more important. And for me, just because I like Bell so much at $8,800, I like Byron at $98. That's kind of why my builds haven't landed me on Logano. Building the rest of the day, I kind of want to get to Logano. Also, if you want to just kind of see me and Sheets kind of go over lines and more stuff, I'll yet again be on True DFS later. It'll be at 11 today. I think we're doing 11 because he has to drop his son off at the airport. Yeah, so 11:45 a.m. I'll be on, actually, noon. I'll be on True DFS, just talking lineup construction with Sheets and having fun there. So really what I'm kind of doing is I usually try and wait until I go through that conversation, and even this live show, to build my lineups. All these other lineups were built last night and stuff. On FanDuel, it's really the same thing. I will probably end up being the 3 main guys that I'll be playing on FanDuel is Truex, Harvick, and Wallace on FanDuel. So at this point, let's talk about the value K range, and something that is showing up for me quite a lot in these lines is where I'm going in the value range. Honestly, I am really nervous about Stenhouse today. I do not feel comfortable at all. And I very rarely feel that way. Like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'll play Stenhouse. I'll do that. But there's no way I'm the only one projecting Stenhouse to do well. I believe that he is going to be quite popular, maybe 25%, because he fits into so many fucking lineups, different builds. That's concerning. I get really, really nervous with a lot of ownership on Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So right now I have 13 lines. I have him in 6 right now. And that's me actively trying to cut him down on just those short amount of lines because it was wanting me to play just a ton of Stenhouse. And nearly every single highest projected line on my projections has Stenhouse in it. And I don't want to be I really want to try and pump the brakes on the amount of Stenhouse that I have. So that's a cautionary tale there. Past that, I'm probably going to end up a lot of Zane Smith. I think he is the best value play. I find it very hard to believe that he will not finish. Where do I have him? Probably around 24th, 25th. He doesn't even need to do that well to hit value. But I will probably be overweight on Zane Smith. And so if you're seeing the drivers that if you're hearing the drivers that I'm using, a lot of my lineups are using Zane Smith and Kyle Larson. Okay, so I'm basically telling you the type of build I'm playing. If you've listened this far, I'm trying to think of any like weird guys that I've got to. I've gotten to some one-offs, of Harrison Burton, Ryan Preece, but that's just getting to them. Austin Dillon, Eric Almirola. I feel like I need to try and get to more Eric Almirola and Austin Dillon, but at the moment I have 4 lines with Austin Dillon, 1 line with Eric Almirola. I'm sure if I start chasing more place differential, prioritizing those lines, they'll work their way into more lineups and stuff. But that's really where I'm at today. Clearly I'm going to be here. I'll keep answering questions and stuff. But if you like this type of discussion, if you like this type of approach, feel free to support me on Patreon. I've got multiple tiers down there, or feel free to support me through the super chats on YouTube. Patreon's $25 a month. Gives you access to all my projections and all that stuff, but it's more a platform to support me, which I, yet again, appreciate. Everything that happened earlier this month, thank you guys very much for sticking around and being here. So let's kind of go through these comments here. And yet again, I haven't been able to, I haven't been able to set the comments up on OBS yet, just because I've only had this computer for about a day and a half at this point. So I'm happy I got up and streaming this clearly very fast. But I'll have it to where I can bring up chat probably next week. So let's go through. Clutch, happy to have you here on this Sunday morning. And thank you guys very much for joining me. I know some of you guys may have accidentally slept in, forgot daylight savings and stuff like that. I did. I know I did. Man, this is the first time in a long time that I went to sleep probably before midnight on a Saturday. And if you know me, if you're in my Discord, or if you know me in general, it's very rare that I go to sleep before 2 o'clock a.m. on a Saturday. Usually just because I'm working the sheets, doing stuff like that. So I was like, oh yeah, cool, I get to sleep in and stuff. And then of course, the one day I'm going to try and get like 8 hours of sleep, alarm goes off at 7:30, which was the old 6 o'clock. So I've been up for a while now. Yeah, what's going on, guys? Let's see. What's going on? Good morning, Clay. Custer left every single ounce of his talent guitar. I don't know. I don't get it, man. It's making me look like an idiot. And thankfully, other people are coming to that conclusion as well. Not that I'm an idiot, but like a lot of people are like, I don't know what Custer's missing. Everything is saying pointing to Custer. So not just that. Let's see. Yeah, Byron was an awesome player. I can't believe he wasn't owned. I couldn't believe that ownership was that spread out last week. Custer cost me over the years. He keeps his percents down no matter what. I mean, I thought 33% was low, man. I thought he should have been higher, but that's just where I'm at there. How many? Yet again, I think things are very much binary. I just cut Larson's off at 82 points or 84 points, just because personally for me, I really dislike, like, realistically, if I was going to do projections, really, I'd probably project Larson for like 131 laps led, probably 85 fast laps. But like if I do that, that's 131, 85 fast laps. That's Larson at 116. It just fucks everything up in terms of projections. It messes everything up in terms of what like how good plays are, because it pushes these guys so far up. So just for me personally, I always just cap projections like at the highest I go is like 85, 84. I usually just cut things off there, because if he's doing that, he's already optimal. Anything past that doesn't really matter. And I like to look at things, and like I have a lot of guys projecting the 50s today just because I want to see what type of builds get together. I want to see what type of lines get there, and then hopefully we'll land on the right people. Let's see. After that electrical issue with Larson, I don't go all in on anyone. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I like being aggressive. I've always done that. And really, outside of NASCAR, I'm a single entry player on like everything other than League of Legends and Counter Strike. I'm a single entry player. So, I mean, speaking that way, I'm used to being 100% on like everybody, like on like nearly everything. So, honest to Christ, like going 100% on Larson and stuff doesn't really affect me. Going 100% on people doesn't really affect me. When it works out, it works out. When it doesn't, it doesn't. That's just how it is. And typically in the Cup Series, I don't do that. But literally, everything say and play Larson. If you look at this race in terms of percentages, there's 80% chance that Larson has a flawless day. Regardless if he wins or not, he's optimal probably 80% of the time. He's not optimal 20% of the time. It's the same thing with like MMA fighters and stuff. Like when you look at their odds, there's usually like 70% chance that favorite is going to win. There's 30% chance that he doesn't. It just depends on what percentage ends up happening. But that's just where I'm at, dude. Also, I got enough cushion now. I had a really, really good week on NBA. Thank God. Dude, I got so much stress off my shoulders. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. So I certainly got enough cushion now to not necessarily worry about that stuff. Let's see, where are we at? Yeah, dude, I put on subscriber mode only, not to try and get more subscribers, but just because I wanted to. Actually, I already did I skip things? Let's see, that also happened at a race we had to go practice. Yeah, practice time. Yeah, like especially like we have 50 minutes of practice. If we have a mechanical issue on the fucking starting grid here, I don't know what to do. Like, yeah, Wes, I turned on subscriber mode only, not to get subs, but just to keep the bots out of here. Who are you playing together? I basically kind of already talked about that. The guy looked like a fantastic pivot off of... No. Larson is a fucking horrible pivot off of Larson, in my opinion. Because you are looking at that in terms of a salary pivot. And there's two types of pivots. It's a salary in terms of, where they are in terms of monetary, and then in terms of where they are starting position-wise and what upside they have. If you are not wanting to play Larson, I do not believe Logano is the move that you make. You can. But the move to make is Hamlin and Byron. If you are going to be underweight on Kyle Larson today, you should absolutely be over the fucking field on Hamlin, Byron, and probably Bell as well. Those would be the pivots that I would prefer on Larson over Logano, because Logano, in my opinion, is a place differential play for the most part. I don't see him getting the lead outside of pit lane, and there are at least 10 other cars ahead of him that I think will be running ahead of him, entering most pit situations. So for me, the pivot off of Larson is not Logano. It is Hamlin and Byron. It is those two drivers specifically. And then Bell past that. That's where I would be at. Yeah. Man, I like Moffitt. Everything else is awesome, man. As I said, I keep landing on Austin Hill. I land on him. I land on Sammy Smith. I keep hitting the damn winners here, but God, Custer has cost me so much. At least at Las Vegas, I got half my money back. I think I had one line cash. Thank Christ I did 12 yesterday, so it wasn't a huge loss. The PGA is going to carry me. I had such a good line on. I'm very annoyed for PGA, man. Very, very, very annoyed. I had unbelievable, dude. I have Scotty, Hovland, I have Will, I got Fleetwood, I got Molinari. Freaking Corey Connors misses the cut. I can't believe it. Uh, we'll see how that goes, man. The wind's supposed to be fucking terrible today, past 11. So we'll see how that holds on. I don't know why I went on that rant. Oh yeah. So like basically any lost money I had there, at least I don't have to redeposit. That's very much covered there. How do you feel about Denny? I like Denny Hamlin. Not actually, because at this point I need to really be aggressive here when I say like, because I like a lot of people today. Hamlin, I have him right now. I have him in 2 of my 13 lines. I want to end up with him in probably 4 or 5. But he is probably my least interested guy, only due to the fact that I like the builds that I have. A Larson and Hamlin line is getting me to certain value ranges that I don't want to be in, depending on who I use. So I will probably end up being under the field on Hamlin, which is why, as I said, if you are not playing Larson, Hamlin and Byron are the ways to go. I believe in Larson so much, so of course that's going to limit the upside of Hamlin and Byron. But if I was in a situation like, yeah, dude, I don't see Larson running away with this race being that fast, I would play the shit out of Hamlin and Byron. So that's where I'm at there. So I have Hamlin and Byron in lines, but it is very limited just because I'm so high. Specifically, I'm so high on Truex, Reddick, Harvick, Bowman, all these guys back there. And yet again, another pivot. Like, why play Logano? I have no Logano right now. Why play Logano? Harvick's the exact same play. Bowman's the exact same play. Wallace, Truex, Reddick, fucking fucking Chris Buescher. These guys are the exact same play as Logano. I don't understand paying or playing Logano today. I don't get it. Let's see. Who do I like more, Truex or Bell? It's gonna be Truex probably, but I got quite a bit of both. Yeah. Well, no, I mean I get up so early, yeah. The issue is I don't sleep in, during daylight. Say I always get up early anyway. I'm always up at like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning anyway. Andrew, thank you very much. Let's see. Thanks for the work right now using your projection 20 lines. Oh, hell yeah, Mark, and it's been awesome. I mean, look, my projections, and I certainly don't, I mean, I'm very transparent in the videos and stuff, but my projections aren't saying, like, go 100% on these guys and stuff. I very much trust projections. I just lean into being overweight on certain people. If you've used the projections lately, there have been a lot of people scoring very well. If you go to the Patreon, I mean, I keep forgetting that people can comment on Patreon posts and stuff just because I'm not used to that. I used to just mainly everybody just talking on Discord and stuff. People have had fantastic seasons so far just using the projections. So I'm very, very happy about that. So for me, if you're running those 20 lines, I mean, I think that's what you're going to see there. When I ran my initial crunch of like 300, actually, let me bring it up real fast. And this is why I like doing the videos with sheets as well. Let's see. Let me get this up here. I'll tell you my crunches when I ran. I've removed people though. When I ran 500 lines, I think I had like maybe 8% Halen, maybe 10% William Byron. I think I remember I had like 5 or 6% Reddick. So I mean that's certainly representation, or that's a good representation of the projections. For me personally, I would run a majority of those lines. If you feel like that you really do want some Hamlin or some Reddick, like with me, Reddick, I have Reddick I'm in 1 of my 13 lines right now, but for the most part, I didn't have them based on my numbers. I just have them based on, what I think that car can do. I'll probably end up with some more. Like, whenever I get to, like, some one-off guys, I think Reddick's a great example of that. Blaine is a great example of that. Those are guys I'm just kind of getting to just to have some type of ownership to. But for the most part, you're getting the exact same exposure that I had on my stuff, and I'm perfectly fine with that, Mark. Bubba Wallace, I have, yet again, I've said it. I said it last year. We just got really, really unlucky. It's happening again this year. Bubba Wallace, Denny Hamlin, Truex, man, they are going to keep me in there. They are mispriced. I just always want to at least have 30% Bubba Wallace, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin. Probably that's why I need to get more Denny Hamlin lines, just because I want to end up being there with my lines in general. But I like Bubba Wallace, and Bubba Wallace is a freaking awesome price today. Here, let me do another example or talk you through this real fast. If you're making a lineup, let me look. Are all these League of Legends matches over? Or are they still doing? When I looked, they still had final. Okay, cool. All right, so let me see. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm going to look at this line, or just look at a build right fast. So as I said, 100% Larson. I may end up with a lot of Zane Smith. So you start with Zane Smith. Kyle Larson leads you right at $8,000. You can very quickly see why I'm laying on people. Harvick and Truex, you kind of have to spin up. Wallace is very easy to get to. So if you're doing what I think is a really, really good build, Larson, Zane Smith, Bubba Wallace, Kevin Harvick, leaves you $8,200 for the remaining two drivers. You can very easily go down to some, place differential plays, get up to another lap lead or whatever the case may be. I think Bubba Wallace is a fantastic play, not only due to where you can set up lineups, but just, I like his practice speeds. I like what he has. I like what he can show us. Do I think the confiscated part is going to slow down? No, not at all. I mean, I'm not worried about that at all, because they confiscated them, and then they still qualified well. All these cars are still. I don't think it's that big of an issue, to be honest with you. Last night UFC was tough. I didn't cash. Who did I have last night? I barely just missed the bubble. I barely just missed it. Yeah, I had 501. Cash line mainly stood right at 540. I just had two losses. I had Dumas and Alexander. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I'm not too worried about the confiscated parts. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Specifically here, it might be going forward. We also got to remember that we're entering a different era now. Season rather. There's 5 distinct seasons during a year. So you get the initial start where you go to every type of track, and then we have nothing but a short track. We have Atlanta, we have some road courses, but we don't get back to intermediates until April and May and stuff. So I think that part, if it was helping them there, it's not that big of an issue at a race where you're going, or at a racetrack where it's a short track, it's a flatter track. You're in situations where, even if that was an advantage, but it's not even Hendrick as well. It's most of the Chevys. It's not even just a Hendrick thing as well. Cully had that taken as well. So it's more of a Chevy thing than it is a Hendrick thing. So if it is something, then I think it's going to affect all Chevys negative and not necessarily just Hendrick. But even with that said, I don't believe that is that big of an issue. Let's see. Yeah, so on Prize Picks, and I really don't use that stuff at all, mainly because I don't like Prize Picks as a platform, to be honest with you. But I'm pretty sure my entry, I did a 6-legger just for the hell of it last night, because I was like, all these projections are wrong. So I thought for sure you were asking at 87 laps, because I thought that was the Prize Picks fastest lap. Oh, that's fastest laps. I gotta assume that is the laps led for Larson. Yeah, so do I like Larson for over 87 laps led? You know what you just do? You take Kyle Larson for over 46.5 fast laps. That's a much better line. It's unbelievable. That's way, way better. I mean, I got a 6-legger with Alex Bowman more than 39 fantasy points, Bubba for more than 35, Lars for more than 47 laps led, or 46.5. Kevin Harvick for more than 14.5 fast laps. Suarez for more than 30.5, and William Byron more than 43.5. But the two best plays on Prize Picks Day are, I don't know if they've changed, is Kevin Harvick more than 14.5 fast laps and Larson more than 46.5 fast laps. That is a much better thing I would do. That's a much bigger line. The fast laps, you should, if you like a driver, typically Prize Picks is very, very soft on the fast laps. I typically chase that more than anything if I do play, and I really don't. I just none of their projections there line up with my stuff, so I just threw them in there. My gut says Eric Almirola is going to slide and wreck. I guess we will see. I don't know. We'll see. Eric Almirola he's awesome at this track. Eric Almirola has fantastic track history. The man has never DNF'd. Going back to like 2017, hasn't DNF'd. 2 finishes outside the top 20. Past that, every finish has been inside the top 12. So I would doubt Eric Almirola would do that. Let's see. Don't overthink his qualifying run. That'll happen on qualifying when we're trying to get it. He won't be around like that every lap of the race with high driver is released. I'm not exactly sure what. I'm not sure what that's referring to, Sterling. Which high price driver is your least favorite? Probably Logano. Yeah, it's Logano. And like I said, I don't have any Blaney. I'm pretty sure. So Blaney is not worrying, but certainly a guy. I would rather have Blaney over Logano. If I end up with 0 Logano, it's probably because I'm at least playing some Ryan Blaney, because he does have really, really good long run speed. The Fords have just been freaking slow, man, this year. But practice is looking good. When you look at Blaney's history, very similar fashion to Eric Almirola, fantastic track history. He is going to get fast laps in this race. Blaney will absolutely get fast laps in this race. I currently have Ryan Blaney projected to finish 3rd with 12 fast laps and 16 laps led. I think that is a very fair projection. That's right at 55 points. And I'm much more confident with at least having 12 fast laps and stuff. So Blaney's going to be there. I just think he gets beat by other people on pit lane and stuff, and he doesn't get the lead. But I would much rather have Blaney over Logano. But I'll probably be underweight on both. I don't care if I lose. I just want to bet 15 to win and enjoy the race. Who would you pick? Well, let's go ahead, and I guess I really do need to start doing more be more open to covering betting and stuff, despite the fact I cannot do it here. So let's go ahead and look at the live odds on DraftKings. Or if you find better lines on FanDuel, feel free to go ahead. I just like DraftKings. It's easier for me to get to. Let's see. Hamlin's plus 800, Bell's 800. If you're putting 15 on, I need to go with Harvick or Martin Truex Jr., to be honest with you. Harvick's plus 100, and Truex Jr. is plus 1,500. You want to goof around and put $15 on either one of those guys. It's not going to pay a lot, but those would be probably the two guys I'd go with. But man, when it comes to betting and stuff, you can't bet the day of. The lines have moved. All the good lines are early in the week. All the good lines are before qualifying. It's like you cannot bet the day of in any sport. If you want to put stuff on people, you absolutely have to do it. Like NFL, you have to do that early in the week. You have to absolutely do everything, really, really early. NBA, you got to do those early lines. What else? But yeah, I'm in Texas, so I can't bet. But thank you for telling him that, Sterling. Is Keselowski a decent GPP dart throw? I would say no. That is where I'm at. If you like Keselowski, you should play Chris Buescher. Identical plays. Same upside. the cheater cars usually have been the good plays. Yeah, I mean and I mean, I think this is a case to where, they said the reports are coming through that those parts are very difficult to get to fit onto the Chevy body for whatever reason that they changed this year. So I'm assuming that it's an alignment issue that it's being caught in the OSS or something. I don't believe that they're necessarily cheating that part because that's an air intake. Like it. I mean, you could take the amount. I guess you could change the amount of air that's being taken in, but the fact that they're confiscating it based on where it's aligning with the roof, or not with the roof, the hood. I mean, there's very little things that you can do there to really gain advantage. In my opinion, I think there's other ways to get aero advantage there. I don't know. I'm not too concerned about the parts there. I have no Harvick. Why do you like Harvick fast laps? Why do I like Harvick's fast laps? Well, let's see real fast. Like, I got Harvick projected for 19 fast laps, which is why I took the prize picks over. But in general, when you look at how Harvick does at this racetrack. All right, so 2022 in the fall, Harvick had 7.2 fast lap points. Oh, fuck. Now I got to do math. What is it? 0.45? 7.2 divided by 4.5. That's 16 fast laps in the fall race last year. And we'll go over each and every one here. Okay? You go to the spring race last year. Harvick had right around 9 points in fast laps. The fall 2021, Harvick had 13.05 fast lap points. Spring 2021, Harvick has 4.95 fast laps, so wouldn't get it done there. 20 fall, Harvick had 1.5 fast laps, so not getting it done there. 20 in the spring, Harvick had 28.5 fast lap points, so clearly getting it done there. 19 in the fall race, or 19 fall. Where are we at? 19 fall race. Harvick has 6 lap lead points, so that's going to probably be right under that prop. Spring race 2019, Kevin Harvick has 5.5 fast laps. 5.5 fast lap points. 2018 fall race, Harvick has 11 fast lap points. 2018, the spring race, Kevin Harvick has 28 fast lap points. 2017 fall race, Kevin Harvick has 7.5 fast lap points. 2017 spring race, Kevin Harvick has 2 fast lap points. So Harvick is getting fast laps in this race. And Harvick has not dominated this race in years. Harvick should absolutely get those fast laps. In my opinion, I think that's a very easily replicated fast lap to get. Getting 14, getting 15, whatever the fucking prop is very easy. Yet again, leaning into projections, okay? This is also another reason why I'm so high on Harvick. People are like, Harvick is not a lap leader. Harvick's not a dominator. Why are you always telling us to play 4 dominators? That's stupid. You can't do that. Harvick is going. We have proven. I just went through the data, through multiple different types of cars at this track. Despite the fact Harvick has not won this race since 2018, the spring race, the man has ran and finished in the top 10 in every single race. Ran since 2017, going back even more. I just stopped 2017. He is getting fast laps in years that he is not fast at this track. Where is he going to run today? I think Harvick runs probably right around anywhere from 6th to 9th today, all day. We have seen him scrape fast laps off in these races to where he hasn't even been up in the top 3. So Harvick should be a fucking great play today. I have him projected right around 56 points. That's a 6.2 value. Even if I whiff on his fast lap projections and I remove that in general, I even have some for some fast lap. I even have some for some laps led as well. But I give him no fast laps, no laps led. I have him right at 46 points today. Harvick should absolutely be a fantastic play. That's where I'm at there. Let's see, where am I at? Why do I like Harvick fast laps? That's why I like Harvick's fast laps. I hope we're getting a flip today. Harvick needs to finish 20 to hit a 5x value, which he's done 20. Yep. I don't know. So This is why I'm worried about Eric Almirola. Because I have Eric Almirola for inside the top 20 finish and stuff like that. Stuart Haas, which yet again I literally just went over Harvick and why I like him, but he's certainly been an anomaly, certainly at this track. Oh boy, man, Preece and Briscoe have been atrocious to open this season. You know, and Eric Almirola is expensive to lock in. I would much rather lock in Smith and Larson. Like Eric Almirola is $6,900. That's a really, really rough place to get to when you're paying for so many 8K guys like I am and 9K guys. Like you don't end up there. You know, which is why, you know, I said earlier, like I do need to get to more Eric Almirola. I do need to get to more Austin Dillon, but I certainly will I'll probably be with the field, if not kind of slightly under on him. That's just where I'm at there. What's going on, Big? Didn't Junior's team put a stack of tickers to? I have no fucking. Oh no, I mean, Stenhouse. You know, he ran a Q run at the end of practice, but you don't use those practice tires in the race. You know, you start the race with what you qualify on, but you don't start the race on the last set that you practice on and stuff. I believe that's still integrated in the amount of allocated sets they get per weekend, but they're only allowed to use 2 per. Now it's been a long time. I'm not caught up on exactly the rules that they have because it changed a lot past COVID. But it used to be your practice tires for the Cup Series were only allowed to be used for practice. For Xfinity and trucks, you could move those into the race, but because the Cup teams already have like 10 sets of tires, they already got like 15,000 worth of tires in their pits each week. They never have to get to the practice sets that they use. But the fact that Stenhouse used a practice set at the very end to get a Q run in isn't concerning to me or whatever. Thank you for the breakdown. No, thank you for being here, Trey. I do appreciate it. 96 of you guys here joining me on this Sunday morning. I do appreciate it. Briscoe screwed me. I don't want to play. Yeah. I mean, I've been light on Preece and Eric Almirola and Chase. You know, even with Auto Club, even with Jason Auto Club, he still performed well because they were able to reset the car and everybody fucking died on that restart. But like today, I have Eric Almirola to finish 18th. You know, that's a fantastic day. It falls right in line with his other finishes and stuff. And actually, that would probably be on the worst end of what he can do. But that's just where I'm at. I don't know. I don't really lean on Eric Almirola, to be honest with you. I have him as a cash play, you know, or very safe. Like Eric Almirola, Austin Dillon, Zane Smith are all very, you know, safe plays and stuff. But I just haven't really ended up in that direction. So probably, oh man, let me highlight him. I probably need to get more lineups with Eric Almirola in them when I finish the rest of my lines. Do I have him on FanDuel? Yes, okay, so FanDuel is where I'm at, and because I'm not playing Zane Smith on FanDuel, I'm not really leading into the value plays on FanDuel. Every line has either Austin Dillon or Eric Almirola on FanDuel for me. Thank you, Clutch. I do believe this is I think I've covered about everything. We've been live for, you know, right at 50 minutes. We can goof around and, you know, laugh and, you know, whatever you guys want to talk about, we can very easily just talk about. But I think I've covered about everything I've wanted to. I can't think of anything else, man. Yeah, I've really just kind of talked through my stuff, and yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So at this point, let's kind of just have fun and goof around and over under. Truly, how many times are you going to out loud as you're watching this race? Oh, man. How many times are you going to verbally say out loud, Danica, what the fuck are you talking about? Or, what did you just say? Danica, what did you just say? Or even with, dude, I'm convinced that while Danica is terrible in the booth, it makes it way more enjoyable because I don't know if Boyer feels like he has to dumb down or whatever, because Boyer is already a miss in the booth as it is. But Danica and Boyer are actually pretty funny together. Not purposely, but it's like two children with ADHD, and you just listen to their wild conversations. And Mike Joy is an annoyed parent. Like that's the only saving grace of the Fox booth this weekend. Is that honestly, I kind of ironically like Danica being in the booth so much because it's a fucking train wreck with her and Boyer. Like, what did she talk about yesterday? Like when they were describing arrow push and downshifting into a corner, like what? Yes, Danica, yes, yes, you downshift and you're gonna line up the rear tires. What a wild information. Oh, what's that? You want to get a good run out of a corner entering the longest straightaway of the track? Oh my God, what information is this? What type of lost racing knowledge do you possess that we haven't heard before? Like, what is going on? Yeah, I complained about Danica and Clay. I'm so glad. Oh, real quick. Head-to-head bet, Byron Hamlin. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good question. Let me look real fast. I would go Byron over Hamlin in that head-to-head bet. Chastain, I have no Chastain. AJ Allmendinger, you can join the Patreon to see that. I have it written on there. Danica's out there. The only thing she knows, dude, Danica, I do not want to hear you talk about how to drive a car, man. And that's not me being sexist. That's not me doing any of that stuff. Statistically, she destroyed more vehicles than most drivers. You know, you got to get really close to Brian Scott to, oh man, just went blank on his name. Stephen Wallace. Like you gotta get on like really, really close levels to that. I guess, and same thing can be said, like, honestly, and I'll bring back somebody that I really do like, Travis Pastrana doesn't talk about stock car racing, but like I would kind of be put off if Travis Pastrana was like, well, you know, stock car racing just requires you to, you know, just do this and do that, like, you know, in my racing I would do this and that, like, yeah, because Travis understands that he's not that good on an oval on a stock car. That's fine, but be aware of that. Come on, Danica. She was like, in IndyCar, when we learned about, you know, downshifting, you know, in our Q runs, you know, it's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Danica? What are you talking about? We might as well be. Oh, let's talk about Corey LaJoie real fast, because I had a question on that of how his car is going to do. Corey LaJoie clearly doesn't seem happy with his car. He's blaming it on not having sim time. I got LaJoie, you know, right at value today, but I'm just not going to be very high on LaJoie. And outside of that, LaJoie is just a fucking lying piece of shit, man. And it's not even related to that rumor that was circling around this week, although I would bet the farm that started in his camp. But, dude, I cannot ever trust a single word that comes out of LaJoie's mouth. So the fact that LaJoie is today being like, yeah, we're just not happy with the car. We just haven't had time to set it up. We haven't had sim time. You know, we're just not going to perform good today. Dude, the fucking guy lies all the fucking time, man. I hate LaJoie. He's horrible. It's bad when Boyer has to bail her out of ridiculous right? Like, dude, these guys they're in a paddle boat. And Danica has a drill, and she's just drilling holes into the floor, and Boyer's there with a bucket throwing the water out. Like, what is going on? That's why, like, ironically, I like this booth way more on an entertainment level, because I could just say, what is that? What is going on? Than anything else. And it's amazing. It's bad when Boyer seems like it. Okay, yeah, it really does, because it's wild. And then Boyer keeps shitting on. I love that. Like, Boyer, it's funny the first two times, but you've been in the booth for several years at this point. You know? Like, why are we shitting on Mike Joy? Like, what? He dunks on Mike Joy for being old, being knowledgeable. You know, when he was talking about, you know, Jordan Taylor, which I like Jordan Taylor, you know. Jordan Taylor's pretty good, but Mike Joy is, you know, giving feedback or giving, you know, some background on his, like, alter ego and stuff. And then Boyer's like, oh, you spend a lot of time on social media, Mike. Or whatever he's talking about. Like, he what was it at Daytona? What race was it this year where Mike Joy is explaining what happened with Tiny Lund saving a guy's life and getting a ride? And before Boyer hears the full story, Boyer's like shitting on the story. And then it turns into like, oh yeah, Tiny Lund saved this guy's life or he was there to rescue him. And then Boyer's like, oh, my bad. I didn't know it was going to be one of those stories. Like, Boyer, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, what? What is going on here? Oh, man. Let's see. Meanwhile, somebody will be flipping in straight crickets from Boyer. Yeah. His call. It's so funny going on Twitter and seeing. Like, I didn't realize at the time. Because I didn't go back and watch it. Because I usually make a super cut of Daytona. Clearly I didn't because I lost it all on the old computer. But man, when Larson got turned at the end of the race by Pastrana, Boyer's just like, oh yeah, and he got turned. I'm like, what? Oh man, this is awesome. Let's see. Yeah, Harvick is awesome in the booth. Remember last year Atlanta, dude said he was gonna ride, and then he was, yeah, dude, LaJoy. LaJoy is a fucking lying piece of shit, man. I don't listen to his podcast. I think that is all. I literally can't believe a word out of that camp, out of the Spire camp. You know, another reason, like, dude, Ty Dillon might be the worst car on track this year. That is not an overstatement. BJ McLeod has showed improvement since they switched to Chevy. Rick Ware has showed improvement. Like, Ty Dillon is, I think, is the worst car on track this year. I can't fathom why there is such a huge discrepancy in terms of speed. Even if you're giving Ty Dillon all the bad equipment, there is no logical explanation of why LaJoy has been so far and ahead of Ty Dillon. Now, Ty Dillon has had 2 engine issues this year. But even before that, he's been terrible. He's been absolutely slow. So the fact that LaJoy is this slow this week, I don't know. I can't. I don't know what. I'll have some LaJoy, but long story short, I never believe a fucking word that he says, so I have to look at data. Okay, so another one real fast, because we got 76 of you guys still here. Who is more depressed this year? Ty Dillon or Ryan Vargas? Because, man, they are probably on the same plane. You know, Ryan Vargas hasn't made a race this year, and then Dawson Cram puts a 74 into the race yesterday, runs into motor issues, goes 20 laps down, comes back out, and is running substantial times close enough to the people he's running around. That's impressive by Dawson Cram, what he did yesterday. And Ryan Vargas hasn't even been able to qualify into the car yet, or into an Xfinity Series race yet. And Ty Dillon, God, dude. Oh, man, that is rough. Running that slow, running that off the pace. Ty Dillon has been atrocious this year. I want to add that real quick. I will probably have a Cody Ware line today. Short track value, or it's a short track. A lot of values can come through. We typically see them more possible at short track, specifically if we have a lot of lap leaders. Don't know if that's going to be the case, but I will have one Cody Ware line today just because he's starting last. And he's $4,700, but that's where I'm at there. Let's see. Tasha Talkers. I have to assume that Richard doesn't want to do that. I don't know if there's like bad blood. I don't know if Ty Dillon is just stubborn that he doesn't want to race for his granddad anymore, but what the hell, man? I would just be like, yo, Richard, can I just keep running for you guys in the Xfinity Series? Can I just keep running for you in the Truck Series full time? Like, Sterling, that is so obvious. There has to be some barrier keeping that from happening. There's no logical explanation of why he's not running an RCR car in like the Truck Series or in the Xfinity Series. There's no sense. Makes no sense on that. Let's see. Ooh, no, that'd be rough. But man, I know if you want to do that, good luck. Good luck, AD. Happy to have you here. Thank you for joining, hopping in real fast. I'll probably head off in about 5 minutes since I'm been live for a while. Really, went over the way I want to approach this with the drivers, plays I want to do. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out and chilling with me as I ran about Boyers and Danica. As I said, I might actually want to tune to the fucking pre-race today, because I hear that Danica's been saying some dumb shit in the pre-race stuff as well. So, you know, I kind of want to listen to that and just see how that goes. It honestly makes the racing more enjoyable, in my opinion, for the Fox coverage, if I could just really listen to whatever they're saying. Oh, that was another thing that made me laugh yesterday. When they were talking about the bets to win, and Mike Joy was explaining how the plus system works, and how it used to be like 20 to 1, now it's plus whatever, plus 200 or whatever. Whatever, he was explaining that, and then she was explaining that she doesn't gamble, which is perfectly fine. And then she was like, yeah, the most I've ever spent a night at Vegas is 1,000. And then in my head, for whatever reason, I was like, man, way to really feel relatable to somebody who doesn't gamble. Yeah, your first time gambling is you're dropping $1,000 in Vegas. That I thought that was kind of funny, out of nowhere. Let's see. Maybe Ty Dillon just likes driving in circles. He doesn't want to be in the spotlight. He's okay with the back marker. I mean, if he was okay with that, he wouldn't have done his little video of being depressed last year and explaining how hard making a career in racing is. Dude just seems so backwards. Not judging. No, you're good, Sterling. But it just, I don't get what Ty Dillon is doing, man. I don't get it. I would go to the Truck Series, man. Go down there and race to win. Why everybody's so caught up on being a Cup Series star? Just go down and kill the field in the Truck Series. Kill the field in ARCA. Kill the field at a low in the Cars Tour. Although I don't think he can compete in the Cars Tour. Like, at some point, the issue with Ty Dillon is his talent. You know, I think he could compete in the Truck Series. You could argue that he'd be like, top 6 in Xfinity, but he doesn't have it to compete in the Cup Series, even when he's been in good cars. Oh yeah, I don't know if it's still up, but Sterling, you can go on. Ty Dillon has a YouTube channel, and I think it was not last year, but the year before, he made a video of being like, guys, I'm depressed. I am not doing well. It is rough. Being taken out of my 13 ride. It is rough. He was all over the place. And I don't know, man. Yeah, are you kidding me? Dude, go to KBM. What the hell are you doing? Inspire. Did you see his press conference for Spire? The dude looked like they had a gun to the back of his head the entire time. Like, the man is being put up on there. I feel like he's just being forced to keep on taking these shitty rides. I don't know. It's pretty nuts, man. I'm going to let you guys go. I'll give you guys plenty of time to just build your lines and stuff. I'll be on with Sheets on True DFS in about an hour or so. Past that, best of luck, guys. Hopefully you enjoy the race, and I will see you guys probably in the review video that I will record tomorrow. So hopefully I won't be too pissed off in that one. I'll see you guys later.